Hello and a very warm welcome to Science Monitor, your weekly update on what's happening in the field of science, technology, research and innovation in and around the country. I'm Tina Jha. From India's new efforts for self-reliance in metrology to the process of vaccine development and approval in India, we have plenty in store for you. But first up, the headlines. Prime Minister dedicates National Atomic Timescale and Bharatiya Nirdeshak Dravya Pranali to the nation, also lays the foundation stone of National Environmental Standards Laboratory on the foundation day of CSIR-NPL. Draft of the 5th National Science, Technology and Innovation Policy finalized. Department of Science and Technology releases the draft for public consultation till 25th of January. Preparations for soon-to-begin COVID inoculation drive in full swing. National and state-level dry runs conducted in the country as 2 made-in-India vaccines get approval for emergency use. And as India gets ready for COVID-19 vaccine rollout, we'll see how the vaccines are developed and approved in India. And now, news in detail. India has moved one step ahead in the field of metrology and accuracy of Indian Standard Time. Now, the National Atomic Timescale generates IST with an accuracy of 2.8 nanoseconds, and this timescale was dedicated to the nation by Prime Minister Narendra Modi on the 4th of January. The day also marked the 75th foundation day of the CSIR National Physical Laboratory, which is also the National Metrology Institute of India. More details in this report.
CSIR's National Physical Laboratory, which is also the National Metrology or Measurement Institute of India, celebrated 75 years of its establishment on the 4th of January 2021. To mark the occasion, the institute organized National Metrology Conclave under the theme Metrology for the Inclusive Growth of the Nation, which was inaugurated by Prime Minister Narendra Modi via video conferencing. On the occasion, the Prime Minister dedicated the National Atomic Timescale and the Bharatiya Nirdeshak Dravya Pranali to the nation. He also laid the foundation stone of National Environmental Standards Laboratory at NPL.
CSIR NPL ने देश के विकास के साइंटिफिक एवोल्यूशन और इवैल्यूएशन दोनों में अपना अहम रोल निभाया है। साधारण भाषा में कहें तो मापने नापने की साइंस ये किसी भी वैज्ञानिक उपलब्धि के लिए भी बुनियाद की तरह काम करती है। दुनिया में हमारे प्रोडक्ट्स कहां स्टैंड कर रहे हैं, हमें क्या सुधार की जरूरत है, ये पहचान, ये सेल्फ इंट्रोस्पेक्शन मेट्रोलॉजी से ही तो संभव होता है।
CSIR National Physical Laboratory is also known as the Timekeeper of India, as it is the agency to maintain Indian Standard Time. International Atomic Time combines the output of 400 highly precise atomic clocks worldwide to provide the exact speed of our clocks. National Physical Laboratory also has a bank of cesium atomic clocks and hydrogen masers that are used to generate official Indian time. Dissemination of IST across Indian subcontinent is done through network time services and satellite links. Now, the National Atomic Timescale has achieved an accuracy of 2.8 nanoseconds, matching the International Standard Time. This will greatly benefit organizations like ISRO as well as sectors like banking, railways, defense, health, telecom, weather forecasting, disaster management, and many other emerging sectors working with cutting-edge technology. On the other hand, Bharatiya Nirdeshak Dravya will help the industry to make quality products in sectors like heavy metals, pesticides, pharma and textiles by drafting a certified reference material system. The new standards will also help in bringing global identity to local products, which will be of particular benefit to the MSME sector.
NPL provides the measurement capability that underpins the nation's prosperity and quality of life. Our mission must be to ensure that our measurement expertise drives India's innovation landscape and is utilized to its utmost to support our industry.
During the conclave, Union Minister Dr. Harshvardhan inaugurated a poster gallery showcasing the achievements of CSIR-NPL and also released a book titled Metrology for Inclusive Growth of India. As the institute entered its Platinum Jubilee year, a series of events were organized with the world's science leaders to get new insights. More than 50,000 participants comprising of metrologists, industrialists, regulators, policymakers, academicians and students joined these events online. With such efforts, the S&T Institutes of India are striving towards excellence to realize the goal of self-reliant India.
India's profound understanding of science and technology and its spirit of innovation has been playing a crucial role in overcoming the challenges presented by the COVID-19 pandemic. To deal with several such challenges in the future as well, the draft of the 5th National Science, Technology and Innovation Policy has been finalized. Now you can view the draft policy and give your suggestions, as the draft has been released for public consultation till the 25th of January. Here's a report.
Science and technology play a pivotal role in the development of any country. But the growth of science and technology is guided by the country's science and technology policy. Therefore, improving upon the earlier policy of the nation, the Government of India has released the draft of the 5th National Science, Technology and Innovation Policy, which revolves around the core principles of being decentralized, evidence-informed, bottom-up, experts-driven and inclusive. The draft has been released on Department of Science and Technology's website for public consultation. The policy will bring about profound changes through short, medium and long-term mission mode projects by building a nurtured ecosystem. It will also catalyze socio-economic development by identifying and addressing the strengths and weaknesses of the Indian STI ecosystem.
Idea is not to be working in silos, but to connect all of these stakeholders of science and technology so that everything works together. And that's the way to empower our society for the use of science and technology. So all the aspects which would empower the use of science and technology and creation of relevant science and technology, all of that is part of this, including inclusion, diversity, how to bring in more finances, how to bring in more people, and how to bring in more quality and relevance for doing our science and technology.
The draft prepared through a 4-track consultation process in the last 6 months encourages public participation to strengthen people-centric STI. The policy also expects to keep all the stakeholders connected to develop quick solutions as seen in the case of COVID crisis when R&D institutions, academia and industries shared the same purpose. The policy includes national and international solidarity, promotion of traditional knowledge systems, development of indigenous technologies, and encouraging innovations at all the levels to emphasize sustainable development. The policy has a broad vision of achieving technological self-reliance to position India among the top 3 scientific superpowers in the decade to come. And for this, it also aims to attract and nurture critical human capital through a people-centric STI ecosystem.
India will soon begin its vaccination drive against COVID-19 as 2 Made in India vaccines have been approved for restricted emergency use in the country. The decision was taken in accordance with the recommendations of the Subject Expert Committee of the Central Drug Standard Control Organization. To run the vaccination drive smoothly across the country, national level and state level dry runs were conducted so that unforeseen problems can be identified and resolved before the actual implementation of the inoculation program.
With the arrival of the new year, India joined the select few nations in the world that can take pride in developing, manufacturing and using their own COVID-19 vaccines amid the testing times of the pandemic. As India entered the new year, the top regulatory authority in India, Central Drug Standard Control Organization, decided to accept the recommendations of a Subject Experts Committee and granted approval to 2 Made in India vaccines, Covishield of Serum Institute of India and Covaxin of Bharat Biotech, for restricted use in emergency situation.
साथियों, नया साल अपने साथ एक और बड़ी उपलब्धि लेकर आया है। भारत के वैज्ञानिकों ने एक नहीं, 2 मेड इन इंडिया कोविड वैक्सीन विकसित करने में सफलता पाई है। भारत में दुनिया का सबसे बड़ा कोविड वैक्सीन प्रोग्राम भी शुरू होने जा रहा है।
Since the emergence of COVID-19, several efforts were started all over the world to develop a vaccine against the infection. Many such efforts were also started in India. As a result, several vaccine candidates based on different platforms are in the final phase of development, and some are ready to be used for mass inoculation. In India, Covishield, manufactured by Serum Institute of India and developed by AstraZeneca and the Oxford University, has been given the first approval for restricted emergency use. The second approval went to Covaxin, which is developed and manufactured indigenously by Bharat Biotech in collaboration with the Indian Council of Medical Research. This vaccine has been approved to keep it as a backup option.
The Subject Expert Committee of Central Drug Standard Control Organization met on 1st and 2nd January 2021 and made recommendations in respect of proposal for restricted emergency approval of COVID-19 virus vaccine of Serum Institute of India and Messrs. Bharat Biotech, as well as Phase 3 clinical trial of Messrs. Cadila Healthcare Limited.
In terms of the vaccine platform, Covishield is a vector vaccine prepared by encoding SARS-CoV-2 spike glycoprotein into chimpanzee's adenovirus. Safety, immunogenicity and efficacy data generated on 23,745 participants aged 18 years or above from overseas clinical studies was submitted by the Serum Institute of India. Overall efficacy of the vaccine was found to be 70.42%. Data from Phase 2 and Phase 3 clinical trials conducted on 1,600 participants in India was also submitted, and the results were found comparable to that of the overseas clinical studies. On the other hand, Bharat Biotech's Covaxin is based on inactivated virus or Verocell platform. It was developed in collaboration with ICMR and NIV Pune, from where the company received the virus seed strains. So far, it has been tested safely on more than 22,500 volunteers in Phase 3 trials. However, given the emergence of mutant strain from the UK, clinical trials of these vaccines will continue in the country along with regular post-inoculation studies. In addition to granting approval to these vaccines, DCGI also gave a go-ahead to Kerala Healthcare to conduct phase 3 trials of its vaccine Zycov-D, which is based on a DNA platform. As the vaccines have been approved, so the preparations for the inoculation drive in India are in full swing. 2 national-level dry runs have been conducted in addition to many state-level dry runs to train the health workers of the country. Initially, only Covishield will be used for the vaccination drive. Health workers and frontline workers will be vaccinated first, followed by people above the age of 50. People below 50 but with associated comorbidities are also intended to be covered in the first phase of the vaccination, which is expected to last till August 2021. The beneficiaries will be given 2 doses of Covishield at an interval of 28 days. According to the experts, antibodies will develop in 2 weeks after taking the second dose. So, in the meantime and even after that, it would be better to follow key COVID-specific behaviors like social distancing, wearing masks and hand washing. The Health Ministry has also introduced CoWIN, a digital platform for real-time monitoring of COVID-19 vaccine delivery. An app with the same name is also in the process of development and can be launched shortly by the government. Till then, people are advised not to download apps with similar names as they could cause serious problems.
Till date, more than 18 lakh people across the globe have lost their lives to the COVID-19 pandemic. Now, our only hope to overcome this crisis is a safe and effective vaccine. Therefore, India has been supporting and accelerating the process of vaccine development by doing away with the unnecessary formalities and focusing only on the essential steps of the process. In this report, let's take a look at how the vaccines are being developed in India and how they have been granted emergency approval.
The process of vaccine development has always been a complex one. It usually lasts for years or even decades. But due to the advancements in science and technology and collaborations of experienced partners, several COVID-19 vaccines have been developed within a year of the pandemic, which is an exceptional achievement for the whole humankind. In a bid to control the pandemic, many countries have started their vaccination drives after approving the different vaccines. In India, Central Drugs Standard Control Organization approved not only the use of any vaccine but also various steps regarding its development. To develop a vaccine, the first step is to identify a candidate or an antigen to generate the immune response. In-depth study of the disease helps the scientists to identify the possible candidates. Factors like potency and stability are studied at the laboratory level and various techniques are used for the evaluation. In the preclinical phase, animal trials are conducted to check the safety and dosage requirement for generating immune response. After getting satisfactory results in preclinical phase, the vaccine developers seek permission from the Drug Controller General of India to start the clinical trials in humans. The permission is granted after studying and reviewing the results of the preclinical phase. There are 3 phases of human clinical trials. In the first phase, limited volunteers are vaccinated to establish the safety. In the second stage, a larger group is vaccinated to find out the immune response. The results of the phase 1 and phase 2 are again submitted to the DCGI to get the approval for third phase of the trial, where thousands of people are vaccinated, and this determines the efficacy of the vaccine. If the trial generates satisfactory results, the data is presented before the Central Drugs Standard Control Organization and Subject Expert Committee reviews the data on safety and immunogenicity. The committee comprises of experts in the fields of pulmonology, immunology, microbiology, pharmacology, pediatrics, internal medicine, etc. The COVID-19 vaccines approved in the country have also been reviewed by Subject Expert Committee of CSIR-NPL, and the committee has found them safe enough for use in humans. It should be noted that in case of vaccines, post-inoculation surveillance studies are also conducted to keep the long-term data for further analysis, and therefore, same will also apply to both the vaccines. After the approval, the next step is the successful implementation of the planned inoculation drive. And India has immense experience in this regard, as it has successfully conducted in the past mass inoculation drives pertaining to polio and smallpox. As both the COVID-19 vaccines need to be stored at 2 to 8 degrees Celsius, therefore, the cold chain infrastructure, including cold chain point, walk-in cooler, walk-in freezer, ice-lined refrigerators, has also been ensured for last-mile delivery of the vaccine.
And now, let's take a quick look at some other developments that have made news in the field of science and technology in our special segment, Science Express.
India's 40th scientific expedition to the Antarctica has been launched, under which 43 members on board the chartered ice-class vessel MV Vasily Golovnin left the Goa port on 5th of January. The team will reach Antarctica in 30 days. It should be noted that the entire Indian Antarctica program is managed by the National Centre for Polar and Ocean Research, Goa. The first program was launched in 1981, and now India has 3 permanent research base stations in Antarctica, namely Southern Gangotri, Maitri and Bharati. Out of them, Maitri and Bharati stations are currently functional. The expedition will support the ongoing scientific projects on climate change, geology, ocean observations, electric and magnetic flux measurements, environmental monitoring, and will also take care of the resupplies of the food, fuel, provisions, etc., along with bringing back the winter team. Amid the COVID-19 pandemic, many states of India are dealing with the bird flu scare, as a large number of birds have been found dead. 4 states, namely Himachal Pradesh, Madhya Pradesh, Kerala and Rajasthan, have confirmed the H5N1 virus strain of bird flu or avian influenza. After the death of 12,000 ducks in the state of Kerala, bird flu has been declared as a state emergency. The states bordering the affected states have also started examining samples of birds for bird flu. Avian influenza affects the birds but can spread to humans as well. The most common form is H5N1 avian influenza. It is highly contagious and can prove to be fatal if not treated in time. So far, there is no confirmation of bird flu in humans, but given the seriousness of the situation, the Ministry of Environment, Forests and Climate Change has written a letter to all state chief secretaries and chief wildlife officers asking them to be vigilant of the situation. The states have been asked to constitute state-level monitoring committees and to prepare an action plan to monitor migratory birds. The states will cooperate with the state veterinary departments in the collection of migratory bird specimens, and samples of dead birds will be handled with utmost care. Meanwhile, the centre has also asked the states to be prepared for any eventuality by ensuring sufficient stock of PPEs and other accessories that may be needed for culling operations. Researchers at the National University of Singapore have developed a new film that can evaporate sweat 6 times faster to help us cool down while we exercise. The film holds 15 times more moisture and can be used in shoe lining, insoles and underarm pads. Scientists at the Department of Material Science and Engineering of the university have designed the film by combining 2 hydroscopic chemicals, cobalt chloride and ethanol amine. The film evaporates and absorbs the sweat generated during exercise. Researchers have also designed a variable energy harvesting device using 8 electrochemical cells and the film as an electrolyte. The film will generate energy when the sweat is absorbed, and it can power small wearable devices such as watches, fitness trackers, etc. The technology was reported in the journal Nano Energy.
So that's it from us in today's edition of Science Monitor. You can also send us your feedback and suggestions about our program. You can write to us on our email news@vigyanprasar.gov.in. You can also write to us at Vigyan Prasar, 5th floor, Prithvi Bhavan, Lodi Road, New Delhi, 110003. So we'll see you again in the next episode with more stories. But until then, stay safe, take care of your families and think scientifically.